is working with business processes. Now, it was originally called workflow process modeling, but some clients, especially in Europe, pointed out it covered a lot more than just modeling the workflow of processes, and they thought I needed a more inclusive name. And that's what it actually does now, is teach a set of techniques, frameworks, and a methodology for working with business processes. So if you have a process-oriented project, this will provide some solid techniques that you can use.
Great. And what are the key topics covered?
All right. Well, we actually follow in the workshop the life of a typical process-oriented project. So we look first of all at how do you discover a business process, which is often a challenge because processes are hidden in organizational structures, in systems, in different geographies. So we cover some very interesting material there. Then, how do we clarify the scope of a business process before diving into mapping it? How do we assess it and set goals for the process? And then the all-important topic of modeling or mapping, in particular some techniques, so as I say, we can get from the trigger to the result within your natural lifetime. Then we follow that up with some additional techniques for doing a post-mapping assessment of the process, and finally close with some tips on process redesign. And before we cover any of that, we establish a baseline. Of course, we cover some terminology and concepts, but also how can I demonstrate to a perhaps skeptical audience what the value is of looking at business processes? How can I clarify what a process is? And how can I overcome some of the fear or resistance that's often associated with studying people's processes?
Great. And what are the job roles of those that typically attend?
The job titles that arrive at the workshop are surprisingly varied. I find it quite gratifying. We of course get a lot of people with business process in their job title. They might be business process analysts, they might be business process architects, or attached to the business process center of excellence. We also get a lot, maybe even primarily, we get business analysts who realize this is a great technique for establishing context for requirements. Also lots of project managers, and interestingly, we get a lot of line business people, managers and supervisors responsible for process improvement. So quite a varied group, and the interactions make it always very interesting.
Great. And are there any special features with regards to the event?
Special features that are commented on by the delegates who've attended are they like the fact that everything is very practical as opposed to theoretical. I've been actively consulting for 30 years, specializing in the business process space for 20 years, so everything that we cover works in real life. So they like the practical, repeatable techniques. They also like the fact that when questions arise, I can usually deal with them by giving a real-world example. So the theory versus the practice is, or practice versus theory, seems to be a very popular feature, and there's lots of opportunity for hands-on practice or demonstrations. So
great.
We really roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.